So now that we got one-step equations down, let's add an extra step and do two-step equations. Now the way that we want to do these, and remember the key is to undo what's being done to the variable. So if we look at this first example, 3x plus 1 equals 10, I see that we're doing a few things to the variable. We are adding 1 to it, and then we're also multiplying it by 3. So what do we undo first? Well, what we undo first, or the way that we determine what to undo first, is we bring back PEMDAS from order of operations. And when we did order of operations, we went left to right to tell us which operation to do first. To undo things, we're going to move right to left. So we'll undo any addition or subtraction first, then we'll undo any multiplication or division, then exponents, and then parentheses. So using that, let's look at this first one. So again, I've got 3 times x plus 1 equals 10. Well, if I go right to left, I see that I got to undo any addition or subtraction that's going on first. So I see an addition going on here. So let's undo that by subtracting 1 from both sides. So once I do that, these will cancel, and I'll have 3x is equal to 10 minus 1 is 9. And then I undo any multiplication or division, and I've got that right here, this 3 times x. So to undo multiplication by 3, we're going to divide both sides by 3. Those 3's will cancel, and I'll get x is equal to 9 divided by 3, or 9 over 3 is 3. You can plug it back in to see that it works. If we put a 3 in for that x, 3 times 3 is 9, and then plus 1 is equal to 10. All right, 10t minus 4 equals 96. So again, go right to left using PEMDAS in reverse to figure out what to undo first. So I see a subtraction, so minus 4. So I'm going to do that, or undo that first. So I will add 4 to both sides. I'll get 10t is equal to 100. And then I can divide both sides by 10. 100 divided by 10 is 10. So I'll get t is equal to 10. All right, 12y minus 12y plus 20 equals 44. So again, I want to undo any addition or subtraction that I see first, and I see an addition of 20. So I'm going to undo that by subtracting 20 from both sides. We'll bring everything else down. So 12y, these cancel, remember that. 12y equals 44 minus 20 is 24. And then divide both sides by 12 to undo that multiplication by 12. And we'll get y is equal to 24 divided by 12 is 2. All right, negative 4n plus 9 equals 13. So again, undo any addition or subtraction first. I got an addition of 9, so I'm going to do minus 9 on both sides and bring everything else down. So I'll have 4n, these cancel, is equal to 13 minus 9 is going to be 4. And then I'll divide both sides by negative 4. Those will cancel, and I'll have n is equal to negative 1. All right, 11x minus 1 is equal to negative 1. So again, I'll undo any addition or subtraction that's being done to the variable. So I got a subtraction of 1 here, or minus 1. To undo that, I'll do plus 1 to both sides. So these will cancel out. And 11x is equal to negative 1 plus 1. Those also cancel out, but we will write the 0 here this time. So 11x equals 0, or 11 times x is equal to 0. So 11 times what number is 0? Well, it's 0. And if you aren't sure, you can always undo that times 11 by dividing by 11 on both sides. Those will cancel and be left with x is equal to 0 over 11, or x is just equal to 0. All right, now I've got x divided by 8, or x over 8, minus 3 equals 5. No different, just undo the addition or subtraction that's there first, and then take care of the rest. So I'm going to undo that minus 3 by adding 3 to both sides. These will cancel out, and I'll get x over 8 is equal to 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. And then I'm going to undo this divide by 8 to x by multiplying by 8 on both sides. So those are going to cancel, and I'll be left with x is equal to 8 times 8 is 64. All right, x divided by -3 plus 15 equals 0. Again, let me just undo that plus 15 by minusing 15. So I'll have x divided by -3 is equal to, remember these cancel out, equal to 0 minus 15 is going to be -15. And here I'm dividing x by -3, so I'm going to undo that by multiplying by -3 on both sides. So these -3's will cancel, and I'll be left with x is equal to -15 times -3 is a positive 45. All right, over here, I don't like how this is written because the variable is on the right side. Nothing wrong with that. If you can do it that way, go for it. But I like to just move everything over to the left side. So I'll move both of these terms to the right side and then move this 4 to the left. So what this will look like is, let's write it like this, m over 2 and then minus 4. So I have a positive m over 2 and then a negative 4. So positive m over 2 minus 4 or negative 4. And then equals 4. So we just swapped both sides of the equal sign. Now it looks like the other ones. So I'll undo this minus 4 by adding 4 to both sides. That'll give me m over 2 is equal to, remember these cancel out, m over 2 is equal to 4 plus 4 is 8. And to undo that divide by 2, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Those 2's will cancel out. I'm left with m is equal to 8 times 2 is 16. All right, 0 is equal to k over 2 minus 2. So again, let me just move this whole thing, or I'll swap both of these sides. So I'm just going to rewrite this as k over 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. And then I'll undo that subtraction by adding 2 to both sides. These cancel. So I'll have k over 2 is equal to 2. And to undo that divide by 2 here, I'll just multiply both sides by 2. Those 2's will cancel. Lots of 2's here. K is equal to 4. And let's just check, why not? Pick this one to check. If I put 4 in for k, I will have, change colors here, I'll have 4, let's go with the original way it's written. 0 is equal to 4 over 2 minus 2. Well, what's 4 over 2? It's 2. And then minus 2, that's going to give us 0. So that checks out. All right, down here, the variable is on the left side, so that looks good. But I'm just going to swap these two terms. So I'll put the negative 8c in front, and then the 53 to the right. So I'll have negative 8c plus 53, because that 53 is positive, equals negative 35. And now I'll undo this plus 53 by subtracting 53 from both sides. These will cancel, and I'll be left with negative 8c is equal to negative 35 minus 53 is going to be negative 88. And then I'll divide both sides by negative 8. Those cancel, so I'll have c is equal to negative 88 over negative 8 is going to be a positive 11. Negative 28 equals negative 4w minus 16. Again, I'm just going to swap both sides of the equal sign to get it looking how I want it to look. Negative 4w minus 16 is equal to negative 28. And then I'll undo that minus 16. So I'll go plus 16 plus 16. These will cancel. I'll have negative 4w is equal to negative 28 plus 16 is going to put us up at negative 12. And then I'll divide both sides by negative 4 since I'm multiplying by negative 4 to undo it. So these negative 4's will cancel, and I'll be left with w is equal to negative 12 divided by negative 4 is going to be a positive 3. All right, v over 6 plus 1 equals 6. So again, this one will be easy. Just subtract 1 from both sides to undo that addition first. These will cancel and go to 0. So v over 6 is equal to 5. And then to undo that division by 6, I'm going to multiply by 6 on both sides. So I'll get v is equal to 30. Okay, here, whenever you see an expression, remember an expression is just a math sentence. Variables, operations, and numbers, that's what is included in an expression. Whenever you see an expression, whether it be in the numerator or denominator, I want you to instantly put parentheses around it. Okay, we're going to treat that as one term. And so now, remember we have our PEMDAS, and we're moving right to left. So, do I see any addition or subtraction? I do. It's here, x plus 3, but it's inside the parentheses, and we want to do that last because we're going right to left. We're doing reverse PEMDAS. So we're not going to touch that until the end. So I see no addition or subtraction that's outside the parentheses, but I do see some division, dividing by 9. So what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by 9. So these 9's will cancel. I'll have x plus 3 equals 2 times 9 is 18. And at this point, since I got nothing else but the parentheses, I can take them away. Since there's nothing else outside of the parentheses going on, I can just remove the parentheses and have x plus 3 is equal to 18. And now I'll just undo that addition. So I'll go minus 3, and these will cancel and get x is equal to 18 minus 3 is 15. All right, again here, I see an expression in the numerator. So instantly the reaction should be, let me put some parentheses around that to treat it as one term. All right, and then there's no other addition or subtraction going on outside the parentheses, but I have a division by 3. So let me just multiply both sides by 3. These 3's will cancel, and I'll get y minus 5 equals negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Again, since there's nothing going on outside the parentheses now, I can just take them away. I can just write it as y minus 5 equals negative 12. And then to undo that minus 5, now we have a one-step equation. I'll just add 5 to both sides. These will cancel, and I'll get y is equal to negative 12 plus 5 is going to be negative 7. And remember, you can plug in all of your answers into the variable in the original equation and see that both sides come out to be the same number. Okay, last one. Negative 11 plus z divided by negative 10 equals negative 3. Again, I see an expression, so I'll put that in parentheses. And then let me take care of that divide by negative 10 and undo it by multiplying by negative 10 on both sides. So these negative 10's here will cancel. And I'll just write the negative 11 plus z without the parentheses, because I know they go away. And then equals negative 3 times negative 10 is positive 30. All right, I might want to rewrite this so that the variable comes first. That's cool. So I'll do z, positive z, and then a minus 11. Just swap the order. Equals 30. So that'll make it really clear that I have to add 11 to both sides. The minus 11 plus 11 cancel each other out, go to 0, so we'll have z is equal to 30 plus 11 is 41.